Okay, so I'm going to be going over the sound problem that we did for our homework a while ago. The first question asks us to go through each of the sound values stored in the array and determine if its value is in the range of the limit it gives us that goes from the negative value of the limit to the value of the limit. If it isn't, we have to change the value to the limit if it's above the limit, or change it to the value of the negative limit if it's below the limit. And once it finishes cycling through each of the values, we have to have it return the amount of times it had to change the value. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is to define a counter variable. And this will store the number of times that we have to change the values, and we're going to return this in the end. Next, I'm going to set up a simple loop that goes through each of the values in the array of sound values that it gives us and determines if it's greater than the limit or less than the negative limit. This can be done pretty easily using if statements. Simply test if the values at the given x value are greater than the limit or less than the negative limit. And if it passes either of these conditions, we set the value equal to the limit or equal to the negative limit and then increase the count. In the end, we return the count of how many times we had to change the variables. The next question asks us to remove all the concurrent sound values as 0 from the beginning. As a problem gives us as an example, we want to get rid of all these useless zeros or 0 values at the beginning of the sound array. To do this, we're going to create another count variable. This will count the number of zeros at the beginning of the array values. We can use a while loop to do this. The while loop will start at 0 and keep increasing count as it finds more zeros. Once this chain of zeros is broken, the loop will break. Then we will know how many zeros are at the beginning of this array, and also how many zeros we have to trim from the beginning. The next step is to create a new array that is the size of the old array minus the space that all the zeros take up. From here, all we have to do is copy the values of the old array into this new array. However, it'll be offset by the amount of values that we cut off because of the zeros. If we didn't offset it, we'd start adding values at a number higher than 0, and the program would fail because it would try to add values to the places where the trimmed array does not exist.